Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kings of the North online portion. I am Temple, joined by not Fear Dragon, but it is hot diggity doobie damn Zombie Grub. How you doing today?
Oh man, my face is all types of zoomed up. I like I like your framing much better. Damn.
Oh, like the actual like.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
You got
how
a
I am
nice
in
room,
real
man.
life. I just frame myself in a certain way.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So thank you.
Yeah, man. But I'm good. And yeah, the countdown's already started, so I guess we're getting into the first series of the day, which is gonna be PiLiPiLi versus Neeb.
Yeah, so it is going to be a PvP to start things off. For those that don't know, it is Fear Dragon's birthday. So if you haven't already, definitely go wish him a happy birthday on Twitter, or if you have him on Skype or anything like that. If you have his phone number, just ring it off the hook, man, because that boy, he deserves a lot of love. And this is a group that he's pretty sad to miss, I'll be honest here.
Yeah, he really, really wanted to cast this group in particular. It is the last group, I guess, and a lot of these guys are, I think, like even undefeated, so it
Mhm.
can be pretty important for that seeding.
Yeah, and some of his favorite players here, right? Like we already have the DreamHack Montreal champion, Neeb, getting right back into it. He's not taking any breaks. He's still going to be competing. And it's pretty awesome to have him here against someone like PiLiPiLi, who did okay, but you know, wasn't obviously able to win the whole tournament, right? But he's still a really, really solid North American player. That's a lot of other pro players that I've been talking to are pretty scared of him just because they feel like he brings them into their world, and it's a terrifying place to be.
Oh, yeah. I have some comments, I guess, about these two players, but let's introduce them first. In the bottom right, as the Red Protoss, he is PiLiPiLi.
Shoot. And in the top left-hand corner, representing Ting, it is Neeb.
So,
Average Alex.
yeah, exactly. Just completely average Alex.
Whoa, 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 whoa. A little bit of a difference in builds here, do we see? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit. I would say so. Damn, a forage on the way for PiLiPiLi getting cheesy up in here. I mean, it is a build. You can do it. Last time I saw it, I think Zest tried a week ago and it was scouted, so he just instantly left the game. So that's cool. There you go.
Well, Neeb didn't send out a probe early on, so he is going to really see this pylon here. So, I mean, you're not usually going to be seeing this in PvP for no reason. It would just be an, suboptimal build if you're trying to freak them out.
Yeah.
But, hot damn. How does Neeb react to this? I don't think I've seen Pili try to cheese Neeb like this before.
Well, this is kind of cool, and he still has that other probe to send the cannons forward a little bit, so basically guarantee he's going to get that cannon up. It looks like Neeb is pretty confident how to deal with this, though. It looks like he canceled maybe that second Stargate, or second gateway, and just added the Cybernetics core, but try and stop the advancement of the cannons, basically, and if you can do that, then the rush will be over.
Exactly, and then already those Zealots are on the way out. The first pylon did get canceled, and the second one did, but the one in the back has finished, and he can't defend it as easily as before.
I think he can... I could have sworn he got in the pylon. Yeah, totally. You can get these pylon and the cannon still out of range of the first cannon. But I'm a little concerned. Neeb actually is continuing... Oh, okay. So he's using the scouting probe to just expand, thinking that he can't actually stop the onslaught of cannons.
Wow. Yeah, and I think he canceled the second gateway to go for the cyber core. So just realizing that, yeah, I mean, maybe this base will be forfeit. But I mean, even if he does that, okay, I guess he could recall to it, right? With the mothership core, he can recall all of the probes.
Yeah. That's absolutely something you could do. It's still like a little bit risky to reveal that that's what you're planning on, because obviously like there's only one place to recall, and it's a hidden nexus somewhere. Yeah. So I'd say wait till the last second to try and do that, but that certainly could be a plan.
Oh man, well, this is a really big investment out of Pili, and honestly, does he continue with it, or does he just say, okay, Neeb is probably doing something right now, perhaps Pili's bracing for like some kind of an oracle, because he hasn't been able to disrupt any of the mining with these cannons yet. It's really just pressure, putting Neeb on a timer, as opposed to Neeb losing mining time, not even getting tech or gas. So...
Yeah. I mean, Neeb is going to lose his gateway before the Stalker gets out. But if the Zealot swing enough.
Ooh! He loses the mothership core, though.
Well, he could probably remake it before the Nexus is dead. So he had his energy burned anyways. He could still do that recall we were talking about. As I mentioned, go across the map as well and get 4 probes. Maybe 5?
Okay.
Maybe 6? No, 5.
5 is pretty good, though, still. It is going to put him in the lead. And he might have let that mothership core die on purpose, like you said, to get this extra energy so we could do it. But I still think it's kind of risky. Like, what if the Nexus died?
It was close.
A second, yeah.
Yeah, like Zealot's still alive, and maybe that mothership core doesn't get out, but he's already rebuilt, the production as he. I guess that was the one fear, was that its warp gate might have been denied or something like that. But he stuck that Samurai score way back in the back, and that's going to be able to finish warp gate. So he'll have production, he'll have a robo, he has a fully mining base still, and PiLiPiLi is going to have to depend on. He could get cannons at home to defend, but it'd be too late. It wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, and he's going to lose a lot of mining time here. The Stalker almost gets surrounded. And, there was already a robo on the way. So Neeb, like, this is incredible. He didn't really panic under the pressure there. PiLiPiLi obviously had to do some weird building placement in order to secure the cannons getting up. And that bought him enough time to really think and be like, all right, what am I going to do? I can forfeit the space and still be ahead. And that's exactly what he's going to do. This is kind of insane.
So it's like, I'm pretty sure Stalker out micros the mothership core, but he still almost lost that Stalker.
Yeah.
Well, now here comes an immortal. That
Wait,
should be enough to tell PiLiPiLi this is game over.
Oh, yeah. Losing the mining time. He's lost 12 probes. He's down to 10. And GG. Neeb. Literal god.
Yeah. What a fantastic way to respond to the cannon rush, I guess.
At its finest.
Well, I guess PiLiPiLi. So the cannon rush, and certainly if you have a good one on like a good map, then go for it. It can definitely happen. But I'm so surprised that he felt forced. I guess cannon rush, maybe. Like maybe didn't want to actually take to a mid game or something like that. But
yeah, I mean, Neeb is known for having some pretty decent PvP. The last time I heard, but PiLiPiLi is the player that is in his own right pretty freaking good too, and PvP is something that he's no stranger at either, at being pretty successful in. So I mean, I guess it might have been a way to try to test Neeb's crisis management, which is something that I usually don't like recommending, but it showed that Neeb was able to deal with it in a really, really almost just dominant fashion. Losing the mothership core, like, the more I think about it, it almost seems like it was intentional if he decided to.
Yeah, there definitely been some intentional losses of mothership core, especially in thinking like Phoenix versus Phoenix games, or Phoenix games, I guess, like in general, where you just take the shot anyways. You're gonna rebuild at 100 gas, it's not too bad. Or if it's really, really low and it's like already on 3 bases, I just rebuild it so you have the health that doesn't die. Yeah, and so that could have been intentional. It could have been just a mistake, because he probably would have also rebuilt the energy if it could.
Anyway, yeah, in the time, yeah, right. So, well, we are going to go into game number 2, but I would like to take the time to shout out what this tournament is sponsored by, and that is, of course, Chairs for Gaming. Wonderful, wonderful gaming chairs, especially. I believe you're rocking it too. Perhaps with that DX Racer, but
used to.
I know. Sorry. Either way, yeah, Chairs for Gaming is our lovely sponsor that has been powering Kings of the North for quite some time, and also Asus Republic of Gamers, who have some wonderful accessories as well as hardware, computer hardware. If you're trying to step your game up, definitely give them a look. And if you are thinking about getting a chair from Chairs for Gaming, of course, you can use the code ESChamp to get, I believe it is I forget how much it is off, but you do get a bit of a discount there. And our last sponsor is Matcherino, who's basically been sponsoring so many things nowadays. Like, you see them everywhere. Anytime there's prize money involved, they get the codes that you can put in order to increase the prize pool by $1. So you can hook it up, let these players get what they deserve with the code KOTN4. And yeah, that'll be a pretty easy way. Or if you would like to, you can always donate to the prize pool yourself out of your own pocket. And there's a bunch of these tiers and little levels that we can reach in order to get these goals reached. So definitely check it out.
Patreon is a really cool idea, I suppose. It started a while ago, and we helped, we used a lot over Wirecast recently. So yeah, it's like a good opportunity, like, overall. It just I think the most benefit is just an easy way to add to the prize pool to support esports. But also, even if you don't, if you only contribute that $1 from the code, it still is like that feeling of contributing.
Yeah.
So people have really, really enjoyed that. But certainly if you find a little extra cash in your pocket, it's easy to add on a little bit extra cash to the Matcherino. The way they set it up is really easy as long as you have a Twitch account, which you guys are watching, then you probably do.
Probably, yeah. So, yeah, if you're on the Team Liquid embed and you don't have Twitch.tv, like you've just been leeching off of that embed, you'll get yourself a Twitch account, man. What you doing?
Yeah, exactly. But I think the next one's going to be Interloper. And I don't know if we're going to see another cannon rush. I mean, it was kind of clever with the gateway and all, but obviously Neeb was cool as a cucumber and had no problem taking it to a kind of a weird game, but one that he played out so well, it didn't even look that weird.
I know, right? It almost seemed like he was just like a natural response by him, and getting the probe out in time to, I guess it was a scouting probe, so he already had it out, but I had thought that he didn't get it out, and didn't know. So
yeah, it was just like, I was like, okay, save it for our next. It seems kind of bold, and then I realized he was going to try and, put it somewhere else. I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But anyways, we are into game, and in the bottom right, down one, he is the red Protoss, PiLiPiLi.
Shout out to Joe, the observer, also running production. But in the top left-hand corner, he is the WCS Montreal champion. Give it up for Neeb. Repping that ting. And the thing I love about both of these teams, one, Psystorm Gaming, because I do represent it and I'm on it. Two, Ting is awesome because of the fact that if you go to any of these events, you'll see Jesse there, who is the one that basically took Neeb on. They were like, yo, you can have one player. We're going to give you one player to sponsor. And he's like, all right. And he picked the right guy. Definitely picked the right guy.
I really there's some things that I guess I'm going to be so proud of being along in the history of esports for, even if people don't recognize it or not, like getting the minimap change, Legacy of the Void or something like that. But there's also another thing, which is getting Ting and Neeb together.
Ting, matchmakers, yo.
Yeah, Jesse, he had an idea. Neeb was an up-and-comer from the time that he was thinking about picking him up, and it was like that's the undeniable good moves. Move, but it was like me, Rifkin, and Scarlet that were all there and kind of confirmed it for him, so that match made in heaven.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome though. So you get that cut, right? You get that cut out of that prize pool. Man, out of the DreamHack winnings, how much you get?
Yeah, do you know how well they treat Neeb, man, and how much he wins in championships? Gosh, if I got even 1%, I'd be pretty happy.
You'd be straight, So a little interesting opener out of Neeb though. He oh no, I thought it was a straight up double gate. I think the timing is, I guess, I'm not going to question his timing. Who am I?
What are you doing, Tempo?
What am I thinking? I started saying this and then I was like, nah, I shouldn't say it.
Well, it is interesting that PiLiPiLi goes for only a 1 gateway and the Neeb goes for the much more standard 2 gateway that is in PvP. This is it was been set from basically the beginning of Legacy of the Void, although the beginning of Legacy of the Void was actually really weird, the PvP. But it got set. 2 gateways is the safest way to both provide pressure and defend. But a 1 gateway expand exists. Of course, Neeb got in there and saw that it was a lot of gas taken as well, and knows that it's not an expand, that it probably was going to be a Stargate, so he's now checking for proxies. Yeah,
he's looking around the map, going around that right-hand side, and he's going to be able to get this map control with these 2 stalkers. And since Pili did not go for a double gateway, I feel like these 2 stalkers should be able to get a little bit of pressure done. They might not be able to kill anything, but just testing the micro of Pili. And I'm wondering if he's just going to test it for a little bit and then go home, because he doesn't need to be able to deal with a potential Oracle.
Interloper is a bit of a smaller map, even with the curves that it has. So the stalkers, I don't know if Neeb knew that they would definitely make it before a 3rd pylon came down, or 4th pylon, I guess it was the 4th pylon. But it's absolutely correct. They actually just kind of walked past in a very breezy manner the front defensive pylon and get not just a little bit of harassment done, but of course scouting. Yep. Core only has 1 more with an overcharge anyways, and saw the robo. That's a little bit late, so there probably should be another tech structure, which we know is a Stargate, and he just continues the pressure.
So yeah, that's kind of a mind F here for Neeb. He just sees the robo and is like, wait a minute, you didn't proxy the Stargate and I didn't see it either. But what do you think about the Phoenixes, straight up for the first?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. PiLiPiLi is definitely doing some weird cheeses that he's not. It doesn't look like he minds as being scouted, because what he's done so far is very obvious. Obviously, the cannon rush, as long as there was a probe out there, was also very obvious.
Yep.
He's just hoping that, I guess, brute force will work. And there is definitely people underestimate Phoenixes, even maybe Neeb, who was like god tier at this game by now, where they come in and they do swoop in and pick up the right amount of units, and you're like, oh right, they're super good. But I'm not really sure that's the case here. I'm not totally confident PiLiPiLi actually has a great game plan.
Yeah, I mean, Neeb already finished his Nexus too, right? So, I mean, was it really worth it to go for that tech so fast for, I would say, a tech path that tends to do really well once you get an undeal-withable amount of them? You know what I mean? Like, where you just can't manage them at some point. They keep coming in and taking out your probes, but PiLiPiLi's Nexus is incredibly late compared to, of course.
I guess maybe his thought process was like, especially if he got that pylon up at the front, that the Stargate wasn't scouted, so Neeb would spend forever scouting for the proxy and like shrug and say, I guess he's not doing it, stay at home, not be able to rescout and then just be confused. But maybe the second stalker poking that actually got past the pylon really has messed up PiLiPiLi's plans here. I'm not sure. One thing he has is faster immortals, I suppose, but it's not like by leaps and bounds that I think Neeb, with Defender's advantage, wouldn't be able to win out. And I think he's just, the longer this game goes, seems the more that Neeb will be in a comfortable position.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm thinking maybe is that if these Phoenixes are able to pay for themselves over time and he gets some probe kills, he can kind of catch up in that department just because of, you know, the fact that it was earlier for Neeb. Then he's hoping that the Phoenixes would equalize that. And then later in the game, when it's time to actually engage, he can pick up these immortals. He's able to kind of single out some of these units that tend to dictate the battle in PvP, you know, hoping that their value is a very long-term one.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting any real short-term value out of them. So I don't know. I'm hoping that's what's going to be the case here because they are going to start racking up a lot of energy.
Well, we do have what is kind of the classic scenario in PvP, I suppose, where one person went Phoenix, the other one didn't. So the non-Phoenix person has to go Blink or feels very obliged to go Blink. And so in return, the Phoenix player transfers over into Immortal production and either Charge or Depths. And you can definitely all in with that idea. So you have the stronger, like, should be stronger army type.
Yep.
Blink Stalkers really, like, they do lose their power after a little while here, but Neeb's already also on his way to some Archons, and he's not playing greedy. They're going for a third base. He's getting a lot of his own production. He ended
up sending a hallucinated Phoenix, and he only saw 3 of the gateways being made. And instead of going for that base like it looked like he was going to go for, he was like, you know what? I'm going to add 5 more gateways of my own and make sure that, you know, PiLiPiLi doesn't catch him with his pants down, trying to take a third with no pylons there or something like that. So I think Neeb is just going to be chilling here.
Yeah.
And expect the attack.
Certainly the power of what PiLiPiLi has with Resonating Glaives as opposed to, like, maybe Charge is that he can transfer around. Maybe he gets into too many places at once and Neeb missplits or just simply lets too many probes die and the game actually does tilt back into PiLiPiLi's favor. But PiLiPiLi has cut probes at 38. He already had a late Nexus. This is probably the only time he's going to have an army supply lead.
Yeah, and Neeb is investing into so many upgrades right now. He's getting Charge, he's getting +1, but he is investing into cannon, so he's just going to try to hold... where is he holding it? Oh, they're just for in case there was some kind of or like a DTs or something maybe.
Gosh, this is really cool. Neeb is pre-setting a pylon wall to make sure the Adepts can't actually cause any confusion.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to defend, like, just focus on defending this front, which looks like that's gonna be pretty much no problem. Even without more overcharge, I think that his army and defensive advantages will just be better. All
right, well, those barriers are being triggered here. Oh, PiLiPiLi loses one of his immortals here. He's not even engaging with the Phoenixes just yet. And I'm wondering if he's just going to try to break the front. He's not really attempting to go into the main with the Warp Prism. But those 3 Stalkers, going over to the other side of the map, making PiLiPiLi have to focus on 2 things at once. Can he break Neeb here, though? I don't know.
I don't think so. The Stalkers actually blink forward to try and get the Warp Prism, and the Phoenixes did lift an Immortal, but again, he could even pull the probes and lose some of those before things got really, really scary. The Warp Prism's still not going down there. Finally, it goes down, and things certainly are close, but Neeb even has a +1 advantage now.
Yeah, everything is going to be kicking into gear now, so all of those investments that Neeb went for are going to pay off, and PiLiPiLi gets shut down.
Yeah.
Really, really nice defense, but I didn't even notice that there were a Templi there. Wow.
Nicely done right before he made it to an Archon. So now Neeb has to counterattack, or should counterattack, and probably win. There.
That's all she wrote. It's all she wrote. Pretty cool game.